How much longer do I need to work? How much more do I need to save? It is today that we start answering questions like these in step 5 of the retirement planning process. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of A Worthwhile Retirement. This is Jacob George, excited to continue on with our 7-step retirement planning process. And it's at this point when I would usually provide a disclaimer that this is not investment advice, but I will be moving that to the end of these episodes from now on. So if you stick around long enough to hear it, that's when you would. Okay, so now that we know in the process about how much we will need before beginning our retirement, we can then start to assess, are we on track? And that is step 5, creating a savings plan, where we answer questions like, how much do I still need to save? And how long would it take to get there? So last episode, we talked about a fictitious couple named Steve and Susie Smith, and they are looking to retire at 60 years old, and they need a portfolio balance of about $1.6 million before beginning that retirement. But what if they don't have $1.6 million? What if they're not quite ready yet? Well, the first thing to do would be to assess your investment fees to see if they're preventing you from capturing the full returns of the capital markets, which sadly is the vast majority of us. But assuming that you've already taken care of that, and you have a shortfall remaining towards your retirement savings need, then it is time to develop a savings plan. How much are we going to contribute towards our retirement, and for how long are we going to do that? So back to Steve and Susie. Let's assume that they're 50 years old. They're 10 years out from retirement, and they want to know, are we on track? Are we saving enough? Similar to last week, we will need to use a present value calculation to answer their question. And similar to last week, I certainly would not expect you to follow along with running a calculation in this podcast format. I did not write an article on that formula. It is much, much simpler. You could just use an online calculator and understand your inputs pretty easily. But I will go ahead and run through some examples with you just to paint some color into how much somebody might need to save. So, Steve and Susie, they're 50 and they're retiring at 60. Remember, they need $1.6 million. And this time, I'm going to assume a 9% rate of return during their accumulation. And Steve and Susie have some questions, and we have got some answers. So question number 1, if I did not save any more money, no more contributions, how much would I need to have today? What do y'all think? Total need of $1.6 million, they've got 10 years to go, 9% return. How much do you think they need if they were to just let it ride with no further contributions? The answer would be about $650,000. $650,000. Steve and Susie say, well, we don't have quite that much. So let's ask them, how much do you have? They say $500,000. And then they ask us question number 2. How much should we be contributing in order to get on track from now until retirement? What do you think? They're 10 years out, they've got $500,000, and their retirement need is $1.6 million. At a 9% return, if you had to guess, what would their monthly contribution need to be in order to meet that goal? I'll give you a second to guess while I punch it out on the calculator. All right. In their case, the monthly contribution would need to be about $1,920 a month. About $1,920 each month. Steve and Susie say, okay, wow. And they ask question number 3. What if we just contribute $1,000 a month? But we really do want that 1.6 million number. But again, if we can only contribute $1,000 a month, how much longer would we need to wait? How much longer do we need to work? What do you think? So they can't do the 1920 number, but they could do 1,000. Just a little over half. How much longer do you think they need to work to hit that 1.6 million? I will let you pick a guess while I punch it in right now. All right. And the answer that we will give to Steve and Susie is that they would need to continue working for about 1 year and 3 months to hit their number. So now Steve and Susie have a decision to make. Save more to retire sooner, or save less and work longer. It's a big question, a very common question. But now we've given Steve and Susie some numbers to think through as they start to think through that decision. So, be sure to tune in next time as we go over step 6. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you later. Thank you so much for listening to A Worthwhile Retirement, but please remember, while I am a financial advisor, I am not necessarily your financial advisor. Please consult with somebody who knows your situation before making major life-altering decisions based off of information that you might hear in this podcast, because this information is not intended to be taken as specific investment, legal, or tax advice particular to you and your situation.